Okay, let's dive into this. Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're embarking on an absolutely incredible journey through one of the most complex ecosystems on the planet, the untamed Amazon. What we're going to do is look right past that giant green blur of the jungle and pull back the curtain. We want to see the specific, really fascinating roles that weave together to create this giant, vibrant tapestry of life.
Now, to really grasp all this complexity, we need a roadmap. So we'll start at the heart of the Amazon, move on up to the jewels of the canopy, check out the acrobats of the trees, uncover the hunters and cleaners, look at some bizarre adaptations, and finally, wrap up with the guardians of biodiversity.
All right, part one, Heart of the Amazon, an interconnected web of untamed nature. Just a quick setup here. This is not some manicured park. We are looking at nature in its absolute purest, most competitive form.
Like the quote says, this is a visual journey through the heart of the Amazon rainforest, untamed nature in its purest form. I mean, just imagine the ambient sounds of the jungle completely enveloping you. The sheer volume of life hiding right there amongst the vines and trees is literally staggering. You've got exotic snakes, super agile monkeys, and these incredibly vibrant birds, all sharing this dense, totally untouched space.
Let's move to Section 2 and see how this builds. Jewels of the canopy, the vibrant, loud communicators of the jungle.
You know, when we talk about those loud canopy communicators, we absolutely have to talk about macaws. These are spectacular, highly intelligent birds. And here is something really special about them. They form lifelong bonds. But why do they do that? Well, think about it. In this incredibly dense, chaotic jungle, having a lifelong partner is a massive advantage. It actually allows them to share critical life-saving knowledge about where the fruiting trees are, and it lets them effectively rear their young together over many, many years. It's a true partnership. So species like the brilliant blue and yellow macaw, they don't just survive, they thrive in these big groups, constantly talking to each other through these incredibly loud calls and shrieks.
Now, what's really interesting about the quetzal is how this magnificent creature elevates entirely beyond biology into deep cultural symbolism. It's seen as a symbol of well-being, prosperity, and freedom, often even considered a direct messenger of the gods. No way, right? But on a purely practical level, it uses that dazzling, color-shifting emerald and deep blue plumage to blend seamlessly into the forest landscape. So, despite being so bright, it's wonderfully elusive. Next up, we've got the toucan family. It's a remarkably diverse group. You have the super popular, highly photographed chestnut-mandibled toucan, nimble treehoppers like the white-throated, and the small, vibrant collared aracari. But the true standout here? That's for sure the toko toucan. Get this. It has the largest beak of any bird, yet it's surprisingly light. Why? Because it's actually made mostly of air and keratin. It's basically a giant, lightweight pair of tongs, which allows it to expertly manipulate and grab difficult-to-reach fruits that other birds just simply can't get to.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, Acrobats of the Trees, moving gracefully through a vertical world.
Check out this stark contrast in how animals move up in the canopy. On the one hand, you have the woolly spider monkey. This is the largest and one of the rarest monkeys in South America. They are silent acrobats. They literally glide through the branches with stunning grace. But then, on the other hand, you have the three-toed sloth. This guy's the undisputed master of slow motion. It completely chooses extreme lethargy over high-speed agility. And this brilliantly illustrates the sloth's incredible survival strategy. 1. That is the number of trips down a tree that a sloth takes per week. Just 1. By staying way high up in the trees and moving at a totally glacial pace, it avoids all the dangerous predators lurking below. It's a completely opposite yet incredibly effective way to survive.
But hey, the canopy is absolutely teeming with other masters of the branches, and they all bring something totally unique to the table. You've got the nimble marmoset and the endlessly curious brown capuchin, bringing this super playful, energetic vibe to the trees. And the little red titi, always active with that vibrant red fur. Then, on the other end of the spectrum, the howler monkey uses this red to black coat for perfect camouflage, quietly blending in alongside the striking dark fur and pale face of the white-faced saki. I mean, the sheer diversity of visual traits and survival strategies just within the monkey family, it's mind-blowing. Section 4. Hunters and ecosystem cleaners, the silent kings and the scavenger crew. We're transitioning here from the playful canopy to the deadly serious business of survival. Which brings us to a really compelling question. The canopy is loud and vibrant, right? But who silently rules the jungle below? While you're up there listening to the calls of the monkeys and macaws, there is a whole different level of high-stakes survival happening right beneath them. Well, let's meet the apex predators. In the shadows, you have the jaguar. This is a silent, essentially invisible hunter, universally recognized as the absolute king of the Amazon. But dominating the skies above, that's the mighty harpy eagle. It's literally one of the world's strongest eagles, and guess what it hunts? The very monkeys and sloths we were just talking about. So you've got this incredible contrast, ground dominance versus aerial dominance, and both are absolutely lethal.
But, what happens after the hunt? Enter the cleanup crew. The king vulture is one of the quietest vultures. It makes almost zero sound, and it holds this deep mythological status as a symbol of power and purification. Then contrast that with the turkey vulture. Sure, it might lack the mythological glamour since it feeds directly on carcasses, but it does the dirty, completely crucial work of cleaning up the ecosystem. Both roles absolutely vital. Moving on to Section 5, Bizarre and Unique Adaptations, Nature's Oddities and Extreme Traits. So the crucial point here is that survival in the Amazon forces these animals to develop incredibly specific and honestly, sometimes very strange adaptations.
Case in point, the hoatzin. It's often affectionately, or actually maybe not so affectionately, called the stink bird. This thing is a living relic from prehistoric times. Not only does it have this bizarre look, but it has a highly distinctive odor caused by a completely unique digestive process. I mean, it's nature's funny way of saying, hey, if smelling terrible keeps you alive, it's a winning evolutionary strategy.
Now think about the number 60. That is the astonishing number of wing beats per second of the green-crowned brilliant hummingbird. This tiny bird is a literal living jewel of the jungle. Its extreme ability to hover at those phenomenal speeds lets it feed in a way virtually no other bird can. It is just a perfect extreme adaptation.
Let's compare two more extreme communicators, but with very different strategies. The southern screamer goes all in on extreme volume. It's literally one of the loudest birds in the world. Its call can be heard for miles. It acts as a giant warning cry, making it the guardian of the marshlands. Meanwhile, the European Dola birds go for extreme architecture. They live in these large colonies and build massive, hanging, pouch-like nest cities that just dangle from the tree branches. It's an absolute visual spectacle.
Finally, Section 6, Guardians of Biodiversity, the fragile beauty of the untamed world. Let's look at the delicate balance of life, especially right where the forest meets the water.
Life on the water's edge requires completely unique physical shapes, right? I mean, you have the kingfisher catching fish with stunning precision, and the whistling heron with its totally distinctive whistle. Then there's the scarlet ibis, using its bright red plumage to signal maturity. You've got surface masters like the wattled jacana, which moves so easily across super thin water vegetation, the boat-billed heron with its giant, flat, boat-like bill, and the ahinga, the snakebird, hunting below with its slender neck. Every single one is uniquely adapted to survive this aquatic frontier.
But, we do have to look impartially at the reality these creatures face today. Animals that were once symbols of the untouched forest are now under immense pressure. The ornate hawk eagle is becoming increasingly rare, primarily because of deforestation. And the black curassow is straight up endangered, facing the dual threats of habitat loss and illegal hunting. The data from the sources is very clear. The pressures on this environment are mounting.
Which brings us to the great green macaw. This bird isn't just another animal in the jungle. It is a symbol of biodiversity, a true spectacle for anyone lucky enough to observe it. And why does this matter? What you should really take away from all this is that preserving these brilliantly interconnected species is about protecting the beauty and the function of biodiversity itself.
So, what does this all mean? Well, it leaves us with one final, absolutely crucial question. If the Amazon's survival relies on every single one of these unique roles, from the stink bird to the jaguar to the intelligent macaws and the slow-moving sloths, what happens when even one goes missing? It's kind of a giant puzzle, and it's a profound thought to leave you with. It just highlights how fragile and perfectly balanced this complex ecosystem truly is. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring.